Okay, concert people, this was Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie at the WinStar Casino on Sunday, August the 6th, 2017. I was there, and this is how it went down. When most people think of the band Fleetwood Mac, the term guitar god doesn't usually come to mind. However, I've always considered the band's singer and guitarist, Lindsey Buckingham, to be one of the most underrated guitar players in the music biz, and in my mind, a true guitar master. So, when I found out that he was teaming up with bandmate Christine McVie for a little Fleetwood Mac duetting, if that's a word, I grabbed my bro and off we went to the WinStar Casino's Global Event Center to check them out. Now, as the lights dimmed, Lindsey and Christine took to the stage to start out with a little acoustic set, dipping into Buckingham's solo work with the song Trouble. Then the crowd went a little crazy as Mr. Buckingham's fingers picked their way across that catchy little intro to Fleetwood Mac's Never Going Back Again. Now, after singing the song's intro in a mere whisper, Lindsey then belted out the words, "I've been down 3 times, I'm never going back again," in that oh so familiar voice that kept charting those hits throughout the 70s and the early 80s. Never going back again. Although hearing an entire set of Fleetwood Mac songs would have been more glorious than the $40 I won in the casino, there was a reason for this tour, and I'm afraid rehashing old Fleetwood Mac songs just wasn't it. Now, apparently, Christine and Lindsey have decided to go beyond the realms of Fleetwood Mac and put out an album of their own, strangely enough entitled Lindsey Buckingham, Christine McVie. Therefore, they were doing this little tour to promote their new album and charm us with some of their new stuff. So, is this called a duet project opposed to a solo project? Now, after some amazing, riveting, not to mention spectacular acoustic guitar work by Buckingham, the 2 Fleetwood Mac veterans were joined by their 4-piece band, and they launched into the new stuff, which isn't bad, by the way. For a couple of singer-songwriters who are old enough to remember the days when Elvis was new and fresh, they managed to put together some pretty fresh-sounding material that doesn't sound too Fleetwood Mac-ish, but not too Justin Bieber-ish either. Now, the song Sleeping Around the Corner was a song that really caught my attention, and Too Far Gone actually sounded, if I dare say, funky. Okay, enough of this fresh, new, exciting music. I want to hear the old crap. Something that will make me relish in the torrid memories of my disenchanted, depressed youth. Okay, so came the Fleetwood Mac songs with Hold Me and Little Lies. Oh my gosh, how I miss Stevie Nicks' backing vocals on Little Lies. Such was kind of like eating barbecue without that spicy sauce. However, by then Lindsey had strapped on his signature Rick Turner guitar. Very cool guitar, by the way. And that was all the spicy sauce I needed. Then, in a deep, yearning voice, he started singing, or whispering, those words, "Why don't you," which my brother exclaimed, "Tusk. I wonder if this drummer has got the chops for this song." Or he said something like that. But fear not, because this band handled that obscure 1979 hit with ease. Way more ease than my high school marching band did trying to play it. Doesn't really matter though. I just wanted to yell out, "Tusk!" Tusk! Tusk. Tusk. Okay, after a few more new songs I didn't really care that much about, they reached back to one of the greatest albums ever made and pulled out You Make Lovin' Fun from the 1977 iconic Rumors album. Now, I'm still wondering what the clackers on that album cover were all about. Doesn't really matter, because after seeing Fleetwood Mac twice over the years with no Christine McVie, it was so great to see her behind the keyboards belting out that song. Then came the showstopper as Lindsey dove into the song I'm So Afraid with all 10 fingers and all 6 strings, showing why Fleetwood Mac had to hire 2 guitar players to replace him when he left the band in 1987. Now, not only does Lindsey make the Rolling Stones list of the top 100 greatest guitarists, but he's nearly on every internet list as one of the most underrated. However, don't get your hopes up for a souvenir pick at this show, kiddies, because as any hardcore Fleetwood Mac fan will tell you, Lindsey doesn't use a pick. So that song might have been the showstopper, but the highlight for me anyway was when Mr. Buckingham belted out the words to one of the greatest breakup songs ever played, not to mention one of the greatest rock and roll songs ever written, according to me anyway. Go Your Own Way. And then what? Well, the lights came on and we went our own way. Simple enough. We went our own way. Okay, let's do a little Fleetwood Mac talk here. Now, I just talked about the Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie show I just saw, which was really cool, by the way. Now, the first time I ever saw anything I might consider Fleetwood Mac was back in the 90s. And I say kind of Fleetwood Mac because the only people who were in it were Fleetwood and Mac. Yeah, Mick Fleetwood was on drums and John McVie played bass. That was it. Now, they had one of the guys who replaced Lindsey Buckingham back in the 80s playing guitar, and on the other guitar they had Dave Mason, the old guy from Traffic, which was really cool, by the way, because he played some Traffic songs and he played some of his solo stuff. Now, they had a girl singing with them, and even though Mick Fleetwood told us, remember her name, I don't remember her name, but she was a really great singer, and she looked a lot like a young Christine McVie. Never saw her again. Anyway, that was the first time I saw them. They were playing on a bill with REO Speedwagon, Pat Benatar, and who else? Oh, Cheap Trick. Oh, and Orleans, I think they were there too. It was a really cool concert. So that was neat. The second time I saw Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey and Stevie Nicks had joined back, no Christine. And I saw them. That was a really cool show. They did all the Fleetwood Mac songs I wanted to hear, except for the one. Actually, Christine's songs, Stevie sung some of those. So it wasn't too bad. But some awesome guitar playing. I just remember I had one of the worst seats I ever had at a concert. I think I was kind of sitting on the roof, basically. But anyway, then Christine joined the band and went on tour. And I was going to go to it. I went on the internet, found me a ticket. I was getting ready to buy it, and all of a sudden it started snowing. And I wimped out. I was scared to get caught in a snowstorm, so I stayed home. So now I believe the tour they went on, or are going on, or have gone on, Lindsey opted not to go on tour with him. Okay, now Mike Campbell of the old Tom Petty and Heartbreakers played with him, which is really cool because he's a really great guitarist. But for my money, there's no Fleetwood Mac without Lindsey Buckingham. Now I know the purist will tell me, now back in the early days there was no Lindsey Buckingham and Fleetwood Mac or Christine McVie or Stevie Nicks. Those were back in the Peter Green days when they were a blues band instead of a rock pop band or whatever they want to call them. Of course, if you really want to go back in time, you'll know that John McVie played in the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. So we're really going back. But for my money, the lineup for Fleetwood Mac was Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, John McVie, and Nick Fleetwood. And I think they were one of the greatest bands I grew up with. I put them right up there with Heart. I put them up there with the Eagles. They were just part of the growing up experience in my time. Now, I was talking to one of the kids at work, kids meaning someone 25, and she had never heard of Fleetwood Mac. How do you live 25 years and not know who Fleetwood Mac is? Oh my gosh. Oh well, her loss. They were a great band.